everybody, welcome to Whiskey Whistle. I'm your host Mark, and this is Whiskey Review number 157, the third part in a three-part Danish spirits segment, and this is coming from the Braunstein Destilleri in Denmark. This one is known as the 12-2, Braunstein Library Collection 12-2, and according to Renee at the SOWLEG YouTube channel, check them out. He says that, well, it's the second largest distillery in Denmark, and he feels that they make the best whiskeys. So let's see how I feel about this one and whether or not I concur based on these two other Danish whiskeys, proto whiskey, not quite whiskey yet, and bona fide whiskey from Stauning. And then this one here from Braunstein Destilleri. We'll check that out, okay? Okay, welcome back. Sorry about that one. Now, I forgot about the lights. I've got the lights on a little brighter now. Hopefully that looks better. Now, we're talking about the Braunstein Destilleri. And this is from another great website you should look at, and that is thewhiskyLady.net. The, WHISKYLADY.net. And she's written a nice write-up here about the distillery. And you can also check out the website, which is braunstein.dk, braunstein.dk. Alright, well, so this is the 12-2. I guess this is the second release from 2012. And it's 46% ABV. Unfortunately, the information here is in Danish. It looks like it's been matured in Oloroso sherry casks. Let's go right. This is right from the WhiskyLady.net. The Danish distillery, Brughuset Braunstein, has been around for quite some time. For the first few years, they were a brewery only, but as they entered the new millennium, they started distilling whiskey. Braunstein is owned and run by two brothers, Michael Danish Braunstein, who is the sales manager, and Klaus Braunstein, who is the distillery manager. All of their product is organic, and they would love to put out certified organic whiskey, but they cannot really source enough certified organic oak barrels, so they can't label it as such. Braunstein produces both peated and unpeated whiskey. They source their peated whiskey from Port Ellen maltings. So a peated malt, I should say, they source their peated malt. So this is actually a Scotch malt. It is malted barley from Scotland, from Port Ellen maltings on the Isle of Islay. And they figure that their phenol level in their peated whiskies is about 30 ppm in the bottle. They exclusively use first fill barrels in all maturation, and they have even grown their own yeast, which comes from probably having spent many years brewing. They use different yeast strains for the peated and for the unpeated production. And she quotes here the Whiskey Saga, so I should quote them too. The information comes from them. Okay, well, enough about that. Let's get on to the pouring. So it looks like this is a sherry cask, Oloroso sherry cask. Anything else that they say? No. Nope, nothing else. Other than they figure it's the best, but let's just see how it is. It looks like I have come close to filling the 256 gigabytes on my new iPhone 7. Okay. Alright, so let's get on to the nose. For this one, we'll have a short word from the YouTube sponsors here. Welcome back. This is Braunstein the library collection 12-2. Oh, wow. I could see this sitting right beside a table full of Islay peated single malt Scotch whiskies. What does it remind me of? It reminds me a little bit of Ardbeg, slightly like the whatchamacallit, Ugadal, and yet also a little bit like something I've tried from Longgrow, from Springbank, from Campbellton. Oh boy, that's really making my eyes water. And the peat is definitely bang right there. But it's not really, it's not like that's all that's there. There's still that kind of apple-y note there. I don't know about dried fruits. Okay, well, smoked apples, some cinnamon in there, ginger, licorice. Oh, it's getting a bit sweeter now. Maybe like a smoked apple pie with raisins in it. All right, on to the palate. Cheers, everyone. Thank you very much, Renee and Jakob. Jakob. My bad. So if they started in the new millennium, this is 2012 release, I guess this is probably, let's say, I'm going to guess 7 to 10 years old. I do get dried fruits on the palate. But not just grapes, not just raisins, some dried pineapple, some dried mango, some dried, I don't know, something like dried fried onions. So again, something that is very savory in nature. It gets a little bit dry in your mouth. And the finish is quite flavorful. Again, very savory. Sweet, savory. Very nice. A little bit of dryness as well, so very nicely balanced. Let's add a little bit of water here. Quite syrupy. I really feel like right now it feels as though I've had a Coca-Cola or a Sprite, and after you swallow a couple of times, and you got that kind of that thick sort of feeling in your throat from the sugars. Now, obviously, there's no sugars in here, but it's having the same kind of effect. So pretty syrupy. And how does it look on the glass? Yeah, pretty slow legs. It takes them. They hang for a long time, and then they drop fairly quickly. So that's pretty interesting. So quite viscous. With water added, you get a little sense of the youth, a little sense that you're not in Scotland here. Yeah, there's something just different about it. Not in a bad way, it's just different, and that's good. If you are a peat head, you need to try this. Cheers again. It falls apart a little bit with water. You've still got the sweetness, that fruit sweetness, cooked apples, some raisins, but all the spices, the licorice spice is diminished, the cinnamon is diminished. Still very nice though. It's just now it's just very soft. If I could compare this, this is slightly more sour, slightly sourer, more sour. Anyway, it's more sour. It's also got more of this umami, this savory flavor to it. So I feel like, kind of like, maybe almost sort of like the smallest distillery in Scotland and their peated version, which is known as something that starts with a B. Okay, one more little taste. Very charcoal, barbecue coals. We're not into the bacon or the smoked meats type of a flavor. It's more like an aromatic smoke. That's what I'm feeling here. You've got that burning charcoal, burning wood, the peat offering that that fragrant sort of well, peatiness to it, earthiness. I better pour just a little bit more in here. So, well, that is Braunstein Library Release, Library Collection 12-2. 12 not semicolon, 12:2. 12 to 2. 12 to 2, 12-2. We'll call it 12-2. All right. I'm going to have to shift things around here. I forgot to give a score to this one, so we're going to backtrack. The nose on this one is definitely very nice. We'll call that 22 out of 25. The palate, I'm going to give it the same score, 22 out of 25. And the finish, we'll go with 21 out of 25. The balance for this one, very nicely balanced, very well made, well presented. We'll go with 22 out of 25. So that sounds like 3 2s and a 1. So that'll be 87 out of 100. That's the WhiskyWhistle Whiskey score for Braunstein, the Library Collection 12-2. Very nice. Okay. So we've got 3 different distilleries here, all slightly different in their expressions, One of them is different in that it's got rye added. One of them is unaged. I guess I'm noticing the peat more and more here. But at new make being this peaty, the result when it's actually aged will be certainly less than this. I think this is more like the, as I mentioned, 5 to 20, no more than 20, probably more like 15 ppm. This was from the Danish Distillery, which means troll, Trolden, Todden. Really easy drinking. This is going to be a kick-ass whiskey when it becomes a whiskey. Very nice. And then we have the Astounding Young Rye. Take a sip of the water here. 50% ABV. Oh, love the nose. It's a dead ringer for Calvados, as I said before. Calvados, I should say. Oh. Really nice. And lastly, I like what's happening with time here. Well, they're all impeccably made. And hopefully you'll get a chance to taste these at some point. I think definitely my favorite amongst these three is this young rye. It's got a uniqueness to it that I have never tasted before. And it's got a great balance of the umami, the savory, the sweet, along with a little bit of sour, a little bit of tart, and an overall sweetness as well. So very nice. And these two also just fabulous. Great, great whiskeys. So that was it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also Twitter. Tweet friends, what can I call you? I don't know, what is it? Tweeps. To all the tweeps out there, why not add me? Follow me. I'll probably follow you back. So check me out on Twitter. Instagram, I put photos there, probably 3 to 4 photos a week. You can tag me, I'd like that. Tag me in your posts, and also the Facebook page, WhiskyWhistle Facebook page. Check that one out as well. There's a visitor blog, visitor post section there. You can write anything you want. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whiskeys you've tried. Just post it right there. And anyway, thanks for tuning in. And again, a big thanks to the gentleman at SOWLEG. I may end up splicing a little video from them. We'll see if they can get that to me. Otherwise, just a big thumbs up to you, gentlemen. And something will be sent your way when it is ready. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Whiskey Whistle, this is Mark. Goodbye.